this week. We're talking about how we first met in 1990 and you were doing a speech in Decatur, Alabama, and you came on, and our history is I got to MC the night you took back Congress for Republicans in the first time in 40 years. I know we say it a lot, and it's been true, but not as true as it is now. I believe if Joe Biden, the socialist agenda, the new Green Deal, weak foreign policy is implemented, America becomes unrecognizable, and I don't think there's a way to recover. That's how crucial this election is.
Well, look, I think this is the most important election since Abraham Lincoln in 1860. So
the most important election
is a long time. But
since
I don't think it's
1860.
Biden. I think it's the machine of Biden, Pelosi, and Schumer, and what the three of them would do the minute they had real power. The people they would appoint, they'd immediately repeal all of Trump's executive orders. I think they would do everything they could.
It's like the
in
Joker.
the very first year to turn America into California, to impose
Penguin.
values on all of our schools, to
The
reinforce
crazy cat lady.
big internet companies, that they should eliminate all conservatives. I truly think it would be a catastrophic election outcome if you ended up with Biden, Pelosi, and Schumer in charge of America.
So let's assume the third quarter, July, August, September numbers.
Go to Canada.
We're already seeing, I didn't think we'd see growth numbers this fast based on the economy shutting down, but we're seeing them. So let's assume we have a half a V recovery, which would be unprecedented job growth in this country and one of the great American comeback success stories. Let's assume that some of these deep state operatives that plotted against Donald Trump are probably indicted. Let's assume that Joe Biden at some point has to come out of his basement, and I know that's going to hurt Terry McAuliffe, who's fine for him to stay down there forever, and that he's actually going to have to talk and explain his record, and I don't think he's going to do particularly well, but that's just me looking into my little crystal ball. How does this election then fall out in your view? Because it's hard. You got to win Florida, Ohio, North Carolina, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan.
You gotta run the table.
You gotta literally run the table if you're a Republican.
Exactly. You took the words out of my mouth.
No, I don't think so. I've been active, as you know, for a very long time. I lived through the 72 campaign with Nixon, crushing McGovern. I lived through the 84 campaign of the activist congressman in San Francisco at the Democratic Convention for Walter Mondale. I went through a series of these things. I was with George H.W. Bush when he was behind Dukakis by 19 points. That was in May. He beat him by 8 points in November, which meant that 1 out of every 4 Americans switched their vote in that period. So I think one or two things are going to happen. If Trump makes a reasonable economic recovery, not back to where we were, but clearly moving in that direction, and if he draws a clear contrast, not just with Biden, but with Pelosi, Schumer, and Biden as a machine, because that's much scarier than just Biden. I think at that point, I don't think it'll be close. I think we'll win by a huge margin.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. You're usually right. I'm going to cling to your hope. Because it's nothing but the future of our whole Republican stake.
Yeah, totally like the future of America.
Thank you.
Exactly.
More of this special edition of Hannity right after the break. Stay with us. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have tonight. Now, if you want to dive deeper into your understanding of the swamp that is Washington, D.C., I'd recommend my book, Power Grab. I also wrote one called The Deep State. I hope you enjoy them. Thank you for joining us tonight. Make sure to set your DVR so you never miss an episode of Hannity. Sean will be right back here on Monday. I hope you all have a great weekend. The Ingram Angle is coming up next.